Spider-Man 4. And that's not Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 for all you fanboys out there. This is the MCU one. Tom Tom Holland's one. We've got some pretty significant information that's come out this week, and quite a lot of it as well. So the director for this, potentially, that has not been confirmed, but he's been eyed, is Justin Lin, and he's directed Fast and Furious 3, 5 to 6, and 9 to 10. It has been confirmed that Zendaya will also return, and we've been given some plot details which I find very interesting. So basically, it's going to be Peter Parker's personality will be slowly fading away. He has lost and detached from everyone that he has loved, and he is just left with Spider-Man, and that's all he's focusing on right now. So James, you're the Spider-Man guy. He's your favorite superhero of all time.
Yes, sir.
Could you get behind this concept, and what do you think of all the other news that dropped?
Absolutely can get behind this concept. That seems to be the direction in which they're moving forward with this movie. I think I think we can all agree that the MCU has lost a little bit of its quality, but in a bright spot from Endgame onwards, I think Spider-Man: No Way Home was a massive bright spot, and I think it's not because you had Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. They were great. They were super fun. And as someone who loves Spider-Man, that was like, it just made me so happy. And I know that because I saw that movie 10 times in cinemas. I loved seeing that constantly. But it was how serious it made Spider-Man. No longer was he the one making silly little hee-hee, ha-ha jokes. It's like real stuff is happening to him now. You know, we saw like real consequences from his actions. He was the one making mistakes, but it was him trying to be good. And, you know, we saw Aunt May die in No Way Home, and I think that was a very serious turning point. You even had like, you know, the technical side of things even taking, they were elevated as well in that one. So No Way Home was fantastic, and I think it gave me a lot more faith in the Spider-Man character in the MCU, because I was seriously looking forward to Homecoming. I thought that was good. That was fine. I thought it had a really, really awesome twist in it. And then Far From Home came out, and it just left a really sour taste in my mouth as a Spider-Man fan. So when No Way Home was coming out, and you know, we're doing our most anticipated list, this was at the time when those like rumors about, you know, old villains and old Spider-Man, they were floating around, but they never had any serious traction towards them. Because, you know, the year beforehand, it was a year before it even came out, it never made my most anticipated list. And it would have made number one if I had known all that stuff beforehand, of course. And so it was in my most honorable mentions. And to see Spider-Man Homecoming taking out the number one most anticipated spot for 2017 over Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, which shocked Kyan into oblivion. This it just showed how badly I started to really take what they were doing with Spider-Man. And so, you know, what they did in No Way Home, I think not just me, I think a lot of people really love the direction of that character, and they're taking it up at the next level further with this. You know, having him lose everyone in his, like, he's lost in his entire social network. Like, no one remembers him, and so he's very isolated, he's very alone. And so everything that was Peter Parker is kind of gone. Like, and remember, he's moved out, he doesn't have family, he's just, it just makes complete sense. I think anyone in that kind of situation would just focus on what's working for them. And I think Spider-Man is something he's really gotten right after No Way Home, and that's probably why he's invested so much time into it. So to see that kind of concept being at play is really, really exciting, because you remember Spider-Man 2, and I think that's I don't know about anymore, but it is definitely one of the better Spider-Man movies, one of the best, and one of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
I would say the best live action Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, I got to look at all of the Spider-Man again because they're just getting really good now. But Spider-Man 2 is great, and it deals with something that's very similar to this. It's like the identity crisis in a superhero. And I think we saw it in one of the Dark Knight movies where he's just debating on whether to, you know, it's the hero and the person, the individual. So I love those kind of concepts where they fight between that and they really have like an identity crisis at the end of the day. But there are some stuff that concern me, and it's the first 2 points you mentioned. Justin Lin, please don't get him near this franchise. I don't want to see it. You said the Fast and Furious movies. Furious 7's not in there for the ones that he directed, and that was my favorite one. He can do the action fine. I'd be really on board from an action standpoint, but I don't really trust him to deal with this character yet. I think there are probably better options out there in the market in terms of getting a director to take this really high-profile film. I'm not heavily against it. I'm not going to just toss this movie aside and not have faith in just because of Justin Lin. I think he could do an all right job, but I still don't really want him near this. I think just someone a little bit more safe for one of the hottest properties in the MCU. The Zendaya returning is the one that I really, really dislike. And that's not because of Zendaya at all. I love Zendaya as an actress, and I think she's continuously growing and finding those roles that challenge her and make her far more versatile than we've seen since she's began her career. But Zendaya returning means that at some point in the movie, she's going to remember Spider-Man. She's going to remember Peter Parker. And it cheapens the ending that we got at No Way Home, because that ending at No Way Home hits hard emotionally because Peter Parker accepts that his friends are better off and they're safer without him in their lives. And so he accepts that reality and he knows he has to move on to the next chapter of his life. And I think that's a big thing that everyone has to do. And speaking from experience, man, I did that in January. I had to leave and accept that reality and go to the next chapter. So, I mean, I get that.
Then eventually you come back, just like Zendaya.
Exactly, yeah. So it cheapens it. It'd be like me coming back like the week after. It's not as well earned. So I think it cheapens it. I think it'd be really hard to pull it off in a really compelling way. But yeah, that's really my thoughts on this one. I probably went a little bit overboard on my thoughts. I'm just, as you say, the Spider-Man guy.
Exactly. That's why I just let you have free reign, because I knew if the show was on the other foot and it was about Batman, I'll be the same as you. I'll be talking for ages and you'll just be like, yep. Let your feelings out, boy. But yeah, I do agree with you. I do feel that Zendaya returning sort of cheapens the ending of No Way Home, and the fact that she is returning, we already know what's going to happen already. Mm-hmm. She is going to eventually remember. My preference would be is that they just drop MJ and Ned completely. It says here that Peter Parker's losing his Peter Parker-ness, become more Spider-Man. What a perfect way to bring him back into his Peter Parker, then introducing someone like Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy, into the MCU. Having Peter Parker have these new friends and this new relationship that can fully be explored, and Gwen Stacy could be the MJ, of this sort of franchise, and obviously Harry Osborn is his best friend, so he's bound to shop at some point. So I think that's probably the route they should go. We don't know. They still might go down that route, that we might see Harry Osborn and both Gwen in this film. But I think just having Zendaya there is... I forgot the terminology for it, but it's like... The thing on your chest is not let go. Or it's not off. That's not the same I'm trying to think of.
I don't know where you're trying to go with that.
It's just... It's a burden in the room. It's a burden in the room. Like, it's there, and you know it's going to come up at any time, and you're not going to let this character grow because they're just going to regress and fall back to what was comfortable from in the other three movies. So that is a shame. I agree with you on Justin Lin as well. I feel that they should probably bring in maybe a more equipped director for this. Maybe the same director that did No Way Home. I can't remember who did that now. Wasn't Raimi, was it? No, he did Doctor Strange. Yeah. So that one is a bit of a eyebrow raiser, But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, this is all just initial details. I mean, plans always change, scripts always change. So who knows? They might completely ditch this Peter Parker losing his Peter Parker-ness and just go straight into first 10 minutes, he remembers Ned and MJ. MJ and Ned remembers Peter Parker, and it's just cheap way out. So
well, I saw that they're gonna start filming this year. I'm like, wow, that's really fast. I did not know that this movie was that far into it. But yeah, I mean, to cap the segment off, man, I'm super excited. If this is the concept they're going down, I think they can do so much good things with it. I think, male loneliness is a very serious problem, and a problem that a lot of people can relate to and resonate with. And to explore that through someone like Spider-Man and Peter Parker, I think it's an excellent opportunity to do that, and the perfect time in that character's journey.
Definitely, for sure.